Hollywood has sold you a lie about Viking explorers. We see Leif Erikson on screen, a rugged genius squinting at the sky, holding up a mystical crystal and somehow finding his way across the entire Atlantic Ocean. It looks like magic, an innate superpower. But what if I told you that relying on that magic alone would have gotten every single Viking killed? The truth is, the show's version of navigation isn't just inaccurate. It's dangerously misleading, and it hides the real genius that made these voyages possible. In Vikings, Valhalla, navigation often boils down to a single dramatic moment with a sunstone. Leif holds up a crystal, finds the sun through thick clouds, and points the way. It's a compelling image, but it simplifies a complex and brutal reality. The show treats the Sunstone, or Solarstein, like a magical GPS. It's not. While these crystals did exist, they were likely a form of Iceland's Spar. They were not a primary navigation tool. They are polarizing, meaning they can find the sun's general direction on a heavily overcast day by revealing patterns of light in the sky. But think of it as a tool of last resort. It was imprecise, difficult to use, and only helpful when every other method had failed. It could give you a rough bearing, but it couldn't guide you across 1,000 miles of open ocean. So if the Sunstone wasn't their magic compass, what was the secret? The answer lies in a combination of simple, clever technology and an almost unbelievable understanding of the natural world. One of their key instruments was the sun compass, a device completely ignored by the show. Archaeologists found a fragment of one, the Uunartoq disk, in Greenland. It was a wooden disk with a central pin called a gnomon. As the sun moved across the sky, the pin's shadow would trace a curve along lines carved into the disk. By marking the shadow's path, a navigator could identify the shortest shadow of the day, which always occurs at local noon, and from that determine true north with remarkable accuracy. This gave them a reliable way to check their heading on any clear day. It wasn't magic, it was applied geometry. It was a simple, robust tool that provided the fixed directional points they needed to cross the featureless expanse of the sea. But a compass only tells you which way you're pointing. It doesn't tell you where you are. For that, Viking navigators relied on a technique called dead reckoning. This was the true art of their craft. It meant calculating their position by tracking three things: their last known location, their speed, and the time they'd been traveling. They would use the sun compass or stars to hold a steady course, estimate their speed by watching bubbles or debris pass the ship, and track time with the sun. It was a constant, demanding mental exercise. Every single day, the navigator would update his mental map, plotting a course from a point of pure calculation. And to fine-tune these calculations, they used a library of natural clues that we've almost completely forgotten. They were masters of reading the environment. At night, the North Star was their anchor, an unwavering point in the sky. During the day, the arc of the sun was their guide. But their knowledge went so much deeper. They knew the flight paths of specific seabirds. Seeing a puffin or a guillemot meant you were close to land, as these birds only hunt within a certain range of their nests. They followed the great migration routes of whales, treating them as living highways that led to nutrient-rich waters, which were often near land masses like Iceland and Greenland. An experienced navigator could even read the ocean itself. They could distinguish between the short, choppy waves created by local wind and the long, powerful underlying swell of the deep ocean, which maintains a consistent direction for hundreds of miles. By keeping the ship at a steady angle to that swell, they could hold a course even when clouds hid the sun and stars. This is what makes the show's portrayal so dangerously wrong. By focusing on a mystical crystal, it erases the incredible science, skill, and memory that these voyages required. It replaces hard-won knowledge with a simple prop. The real danger for the Vikings wasn't a storm. It was a small cumulative error. A slight miscalculation of speed, a few degrees off course for a day too long, and they wouldn't just miss their destination. They would sail into the empty, endless void of the North Atlantic, never to be seen again. Their navigation wasn't a superpower, it was a discipline, a science of observation passed down through generations. It was a testament to human ingenuity in the face of one of the planet's most unforgiving environments. The real story is far more impressive than the myth. Given the immense risks, Which do you think was more vital to a Viking navigator? The precision of a sun compass, or the intuitive, hard-earned skill of reading the ocean's natural cues? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.